I think that if you look at my life is a series of being told no, followed by me being like, screw you, I'll make this work. In the same way, it's very consistent that if I find somebody and I tell them that I want to do something and they say, yeah, of course you can. You've got this, Maneesh. Then I'll never do it. It's like that positive reinforcement of success has already been completed. But if someone tells me, no, there's no way that you're going to be able to do that, then it's off to the races. And so I actually try to cultivate around me people who tell me no or are very skeptical about my ideas because they're the ones who push me forward. Identifying how you react to no's is something you should just think about. Every time you hear a no, notice that feeling and notice that if you are catching yourself being inspired when someone says no, if you are fundamentally argumentative against it, then that means you should be cultivating no's. I woke up in the morning and I looked at my bank account and I had negative $2,000 in my bank. It was the end of October, and I looked at my payroll was coming up, and I was about to owe 60 to 70K to employees plus credit card debt. And I was like, you know what? It's over. It's done. And I went for breakfast. I went and I bought a big pizza, and I cried tears into that pizza as I ate that pizza. And I'm lactose intolerant, so that meant, it wasn't going to be good for anybody. And as I was eating this pizza, I realized that it was over. And 3 or 4 days later, I got this big wire transfer from Amazon, which covered all the debt. And I was like, this is interesting. This is intriguing because I feel like every month the same thing is happening. And I looked back and I realized this had been happening every month to a smaller degree, that at the end of the month, I would be dead and worried and I'd be depressed. And then suddenly some money would come in, usually from Amazon, and it would all be okay. Money is a story, and that story is told each time a transaction takes place, and that story is a story of trust, and that once you create a different method of trust, like you think about net 60 terms, right, is trust, right? They trust you're going to pay them. And Walmart not paying you for 60 days is trust. You trust that they will pay you.
Right.
And they don't trust you. You trust them, right?
Right.
And that you can create that same story of trust by a multitude of other ways, and in ways that you'll never go out of business. Like, I'd say that my biggest asset as a company is not being a douchebag. Making sure that I get people to like me and understanding that trust is the resource has made it so that I haven't had any fundamental death situations since that day, because I don't believe in death anymore. So I was on the season 7 finale of Shark Tank. I was the most viewed clip of all time on Shark Tank. If you search worst Shark Tank pitch ever, you'll probably find me. So the show was pretty interesting because it was a experience. Shark Tank had been trying to get me on their show for 2 years. And I turned it on the first time. The second time we had a mutual no. And then this time I was ready to go live. And I went up and I started presenting my pitch. And I thought that they were going to love the idea, since it was a techie product that had physical touch, is very interesting. And I was already profitable, and I already had millions in pre-orders, and I already had the product done. And it did not work out that way. Getting through that situation, followed by the multitude of, we got 38 one-star Amazon reviews in the next 24 hours. Dropped our score from 4.8 to 2.9 on Amazon instantly. Plummeted our sales, destroyed our trustworthiness. I started getting death threats, a lot of them, people calling my phone and threatening to kill my parents with their address. It was really bad. I'd say that was my most accomplished no. Looking back, everything I did was a function of my learning process, and any kind of, if I knew I would be successful in the same way that people who, like I told you, positive reinforcement makes it so I skip the act of actually doing it. If I knew I would be successful, then I would never have even started. And so I would never tell myself anything. Understand that you are not broken because you can't finish something. It's that you are not designed to finish something. What you're designed to do is to be a leader with a vision, and other people will line up behind you to help you build that vision. That we are starters, we are creating giant, messy branches of ideas and creativity, and others will be around there to cut those branches into a pathway. And that we will never succeed alone. We need to surround ourselves with people who complement us, not compete with us.